The New York Giants have hired Shane Bowen to be their next defensive coordinator. Welcome into Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. We're going to do our best job to get you caught up to date on everything surrounding the Giants, but most notably, tell you who Shane Bowen is. I'll tell you what I think about the hire, and then I've got some words about Brian Daboll and the state of the New York Giants, because it is not pretty. But it is an exciting day. The Giants have replaced Wink Martindale. Shane Bowen, former 3-year play caller on the defensive side of the ball for the Tennessee Titans. He will now be your New York Football Giants DC. This is why you subscribe to the channel, though, because if the Giants make a move, we make a video. We put out free, informative, entertaining, passion-driven content for free every day on your New York Football Giants, no matter if we're in season or out of season. We're here all year long. So if you're looking for nonstop coverage of Big Blue this offseason, subscribe to the channel right now and turn your notifications on so you don't miss a thing. Diana Rossini was the one who broke the news of the Giants hiring the next defensive coordinator. Quote, "The Giants have hired former Titans defensive coordinator Shane Bowen to be their new DC per source. Both GM Joe Shane and Brian Daboll stressed the importance of taking their time in this process. They now have replaced Wink Martindale." I kind of just want to talk about that second to last sentence. Both general managers Joe Shane and Brian Daboll stressed the importance of taking their time in this process. If that was true, and if you're a fool and you believe that, then why did Joe Shane tell the media at the Senior Bowl that he wants to have the hire by the end of the week, which he said last week? Why put a timetable on it if you want to take your time? You know why? Because the guy you wanted to be the defensive coordinator, he didn't want to be the DC. You offered Denard Wilson the job. The job was his for the taking. He did not take it. You also wanted Bobby Babich to be your defensive coordinator. He stuck with Buffalo and took that job. You can't fool me. This was one of the Giants' last choices to be the DC. And that doesn't mean Shane Bowen's going to be a bad DC or a good DC. The point is, someone told Diana Rossini to say this, to try to convince you. We're not stupid. The Giants lied to us, and they will continue to lie to us. If it was true, why did Jordan Renan say this? He said this today. The delay in the timeline of the defensive coordinator hunt is because the Giants did not land 2 of their top targets. They have since recalibrated. So you recalibrate the search, a.k.a. you go back to a guy that you didn't have in your top 2 that you interviewed on January 12th, and on February 5th you hired him. Another reason nobody wanted this job, there was some concern from candidates, given that Brian Daboll and this regime enter year 3 with pressure to show progress off a disappointing season. Who knows what happens if 2024 does not go well? AKA, nobody wanted this job because they know if the Giants do not make the playoffs, they will be fired, just like Brian Daboll will be fired, and just like Joe Shane will most likely be fired. Look, I am praying and hoping that Shane Bowen is the guy, and he's actually had a really good tenure with the Tennessee Titans. In 2021, when he first took over as the DC, they had the 6th best scoring defense, allowing just 20.8 points per game. In 2022, they had the 14th best scoring defense, 21.1 points per game. And then in 2023, they were middle of the pack, giving up 21.6 points per game. I think he deserves a lot of credit for that, but he also was working with Mike Vrabel, who is regarded as one of the smartest minds on the defensive side of the football in the National Football League. But one thing is for sure, the Tennessee Titans, under the direction of Shane Bowen, from 2021 to 2023, they had the highest EPA on rushing plays. Their rush defense has been one of the best in football the last 3 years. Not so much when it comes to passing. He is a guy that is supposedly known for being a great teacher and for being able to generate a pass rush. Got a lot of credit for the growth and rising stardom of Harold Landry, who is now talked about as one of the nicest young players at the edge position. I don't think it's a bad hire. I don't think it's a great hire. but it wasn't your first option, and it wasn't your second option, and that is okay. All that matters is now he does a damn good job, and I am rooting for Shane Bowen. I absolutely am. So I'll ask you this. Grade the hire of Shane Bowen as a defensive coordinator to the New York Football Giants. I'm going to give it a C+. I'll give it a C+. I give it a C+. Wasn't your first, wasn't your second. I don't even believe he was your third or fourth. You were just hired a new defensive coordinator at the Senior Bowl. You didn't have to. Maybe you're doing due diligence, but that tells me you didn't love this guy. Because if you did, you would have had him as your number 1 or number 2 player or coordinator to be hired. Let me know. A, B, C, D, or F. Also want to tell you guys about our proud sponsor, Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use the promo code CLNS, and Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. The Super Bowl is right around the corner, and your lineup should already be made, and it should include more than half a passing yard for Patrick Mahomes. They have a lot of specials they run all the time, and you can take advantage of this one. I also think Isaiah Pacheco is going to get in the end zone. I think McCaffrey will be a factor in the passing game. Check them out, prizepicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. You could use my picks, fade my picks, or more. Just play Prize Picks. prizepicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. Just a couple of tweets that I want to go through on today's show that are coming out from some Giants insiders and of that sorts. Shane Bowen has been the Titans defensive coordinator since 2021. His unit ranked tied for 17th this past season. He's known as a good teacher, specialized in pass rush. Got a lot of credit for the growth in Harold Landry. He is known to run a 3-4 defense, but I would not look too much into that. So many teams operate primarily out of the dime and nickel packages, so you're really only in your base defense on short yardage plays or in the goal line. Shane Bowen has been really good against the run. However, they struggled in the pass. As you can see on screen, they're ranked 26th in EPA per dropback in the last 3 seasons. Giants don't really have that many good DBs outside of Deonte Banks, so he's going to have to take on the task of hopefully, developing some of those guys. Bowen took over the Titans defense in 2020-21. Here's some of the change from 2020 when he was not the DC. They were ranked as the 28th EPA per play. They jumped to 9th the following year. QBR went from 25th, then to 8th. Explosive play percentage went from 27th to 4th, so a noticeable jump there. This past year, his unit allowed 335 yards per game, 107 on the ground, and 227 through the air. That ranked 17th, 14th, and 18th. Despite the struggles, the Titans' defense was first in red zone touchdown percentage, allowing a touchdown on just 37% of trips. So that tells me when the field shrinks, he's able to kind of out-scheme and outsmart the other guys. And that's such a big area of winning a football game, is limiting points in the red zone. Hopefully, he can have that same success with the New York Football Giants. Look, I'm not happy about this hire. I'm not mad about this hire. It doesn't really move me. But he's not as good as a defensive coordinator as Wink Martindale. And if you're going to move on from Wink, you got to find someone better. Hopefully he's that guy. My thing is this. Nobody wanted to work with Brian Daboll. Nobody. Nobody wants to work with him. Mike Kafka doesn't want to be here. There's a reason that he interviewed twice for the Seattle Seahawks job, did not get it at the head coach spot, and then they asked to interview him as the OC. That means 2 things. The Seahawks know he doesn't want to be here, and he knows that he doesn't want to be here, and he would even go to a job that passed up on him as the head coach spot to be the OC. I hope he works. I hope he does, because he may only be here for 1 year if he doesn't. Because Brian Daboll, your leash is short right now, my good friend. It is very, very short. Shane Bowen has been hired as the defensive coordinator for the New York Football Giants. Can everybody just type SB in the chat? Show Shane Bowen some love. I'm not in a great mood today because I'm just tired of everything I'm hearing about this organization, but they hired a new guy. I will believe in him. I will show him love, and I will hope and root that he is the next great defensive coordinator to coach for the New York Giants. But I got to see it. As always, you can follow me over on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_. Let's go Big Blue.